Bengal, once known as the Granary of India, faced a sudden food crisis in 1943. A cyclone and floods destroyed crops, but the scarcity alone wasn't enough to cause a famine. It was the policies of the British government that turned a crisis into a catastrophe. At the height of World War II, British Prime Minister Winston Churchill prioritized feeding soldiers and allies over the starving people of Bengal. He ordered massive exports of rice from India, draining the local supply. Two colonial policies sealed Bengal's fate: scorched earth and rice denial. To prevent Japanese forces from accessing resources, the British burned rice stocks, undestroyed boats crucial for transporting food. Overnight, thousands were left without food or livelihood. The rice denial policy crippled local trade. Prices soared, and hoarding became rampant. Rice, once a staple, became a luxury. The poor were left to starve.
Winston Churchill's decisions played a pivotal role in worsening the famine. Despite repeated pleas from Indian leaders, he refused to divert food supplies to Bengal, prioritizing British war needs instead. When informed about the rising death toll, Churchill coldly remarked, "Famine or no famine, Indians will breed like rabbits." His blatant racism and disregard for Indian lives condemned millions to death. Historians argue that food was available in other British colonies, but Churchill deliberately withheld it. Ships carrying Australian wheat bypassed Bengal, heading to Europe to build British stockpiles. The British colonial government imposed strict censorship, preventing the world from knowing the scale of the tragedy. Reports were downplayed, and foreign journalists were restricted. When reports finally emerged, Churchill blamed the victims, saying, "They brought it upon themselves by breeding too much." This cruel indifference erased any hope of international aid. The Bengal famine wasn't just a natural disaster, it was engineered through colonial policies and racist indifference. It exposed the brutality of imperialism and left scars that India remembers even today. Historians still debate whether Churchill's actions constituted war crimes. But one fact remains undeniable: the Bengal famine was avoidable, and it remains one of the darkest chapters in human history.
3 million lives lost. Generations affected. Yet, their stories were silenced, buried under colonial narratives. It is our duty to remember, to learn, and to ensure such horrors are never repeated. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories from history.